Hey guys, what's up? V8 Merc here. Today we're going to be taking a look at changing up the hammer spring in the Smith Wesson 6906 semi-automatic 9mm pistol. Of course, you probably already know that if you're looking at this video anyways, to change out your hammer spring. We're going to make this pretty simple, quick video here. This is actually a three-part thing I'm doing to this handgun here. I'm doing the hammer spring. I also have the trigger return spring here, and I'm doing a grip change on it as well. But I'm separating them into three different videos because maybe you only want to learn about one and not all of them, and I want to keep these videos a little bit compact. So I'll have the links up here for you guys so you guys can bounce around to the other two videos and check those out too. Now, to take apart, first of all, if you want to work on the firearm, you want to make sure that you remove the magazine and make sure your firearm is cleared, checked. Of course, I've already done that. I'm going to do that one more time, make sure we're all good here, and we are good to go. Decock it right now. I haven't opened up the spring pack, but there are three different spring rates in here. There should be, I think, a 17, 18, and a 19, if I'm not mistaken. But I first want to show you guys the different models this works on, because it doesn't just work on the 6906, it works on a bunch of other ones. So you guys can take a look at that and see if maybe there's another pistol on there that uses the same hammer return spring. Of course, the method of how you probably get to it may be slightly different, but I don't imagine it being too difficult. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to break this down without even talking about it too much. I have a video, I'll put up the link here, on how to disassemble the lower frame on the 6906, and you guys can check out that video. It goes into much more detail on how I do that, so you guys can check that out. Otherwise, this video would be extremely long. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. Now, like I said, I'm kind of upgrading this handgun here, just because I want to shoot this gun a little bit more. But I have larger hands, and I like a different style grip, and the grip on it's fine, but it's a little skinny for myself. So okay, that was it right there. We just took out the mainspring. I should probably flip it this way so you guys can see it. There's this little aluminum cap that goes on the outside of the spring here, right? Hopefully you guys saw that when I took it apart. Just drop it out, and that's a spring right there. Now I'm going to change this out. I think this spring rate right here is probably like 22 pounds, I think, or something like that. So let's go ahead and open this up. I'm going to open it up from the back. Let's pull off this card. This is also, by the way, I think these are Wolff. Yeah, so they covered up the logo here, but it is a Wolff spring pack here. Whenever I heard Wolff spring pack, I always used to think Wolff as in Wolff ammo for some reason. I was like, wow, they actually make spring kits for different guns. But that's not the case. Of course, limited liability warranty, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about that. We want to get to the good stuff here. And of course, I didn't bring my knife to the camera room, but that's all right. We'll just use a screwdriver here. Tactical screwdriver. All right, here we go. Should have set this out before I started the video. Anyways, so we've got a 17, 18, and a 19 pound reduced hammer spring kit here. I forgot what the price was on this. I'll put it in the description below. Any other information, maybe that you guys want to learn about this kit or whatever, just go to the description below. Anything I forgot to say in the video, I'll add it in afterwards, so you guys can check it out there. Of course, with the light glare, it's kind of hard to see everything there, but what I'm going to do is you're going to have to find the combination of spring that works for you as far as trigger return and hammer spring. I'm going to go with the lightest one right now, which is the 17. Remember, this goes 17, 18, and 19. I'm going to go with the 17 for now, and I'll see if it if it detonates my steel case ammo, because that's important for me, because that's the type of ammo I usually shoot. So you guys can see this is a very easy process. Getting to the spring itself was also very easy too. It wasn't difficult at all. So, and that's it. I'm just going to drop on the spring like that, and we can go. I can go test fire it. It's a very simple, short process. Get these grips on here. You got to be careful not to break these tabs. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this in the other video. What I do to put this mainspring back in its housing inside the grip is I push it away in, and then it kind of grabs onto itself there, and then we want to push down. Oh, seems to not want to go first time. Okay, there we go. You know, there's something a little bit off about this. Alright, so I learned something here. It was being a little bit difficult to put this spring on. What I found out is that this spring is actually slightly longer. I'm assuming all the other ones are probably longer as well. That one's a little bit longer. Let's see if we can actually see this. Yeah, it's about a 1/4 inch longer. Not too much longer, but a little bit more. This one's about an 1/8 inch longer. This is the 19 pound. The 18 is about a 1/4 inch longer. And then the 17 is about a little bit over a 1/4 inch longer than this one. So the problem with that is that when this aluminum cap here sits on here and you put on the grip, it tends to want to do this, and then you can hear it. It makes that sound, and it gets stuck here, and it won't go down. So you got to use a screwdriver to kind of straighten it out. So what we're going to do is do that one more time here, and I'll try to show you. I wasn't expecting that to happen. I thought it would drop right in, you know, and compress a little bit more, but that wasn't the case. So we're going to go ahead and drop that in. I'm going to pop this in there. Okay, so it made that. Yeah, I can see. It's kind of hard to show you in there, but you can see it actually right there. So what I'm going to do is, let's see if I can show you without covering it up. Well, looks like it's going to have to. But I basically just kind of pop it in there like that, and then push down at the same time. And then it pops in just like that. Hope you guys saw that. All right, so then that's pretty much all that there is to that. And what we can do is drop in our pin here and go ahead and tap that in. Of course, we want to make sure it's straight before we do that, lined up. All right, I'm going to do it from this side. There we go. It should go both ways. I don't know why I didn't go the other way. Alright, that's that. Now I'm going to check the spring rate here. Yeah, there is a little bit of a difference. I want to keep the safety on because then it keeps the hammer down. Yeah, I can tell that there's a difference between the that spring rate. Of course, it's going to have the magazine here that disconnects. Just want to make sure it's empty again, which it is. Of course, we know that there was no round in the chamber. Now, you don't have, if you don't want to dry fire your farm, that's perfectly fine. I dry fire some certain guns, but I have snap caps. I don't have them handy right now, but I'm going to do a few dry fires with this, so don't worry about it. And this is also a safe direction as well. So I feel like there's a little bit of a difference. We'll see what the trigger return spring does to add to that, which, of course, you know, I'll have that both that video and the grip video also up right here, so you guys can click on those and check it out. So basically, that was the video right there to how to switch out the mainspring on the, or sorry, the hammer spring on the Smith Wesson model 6906. We have two other spring rates here, 18 and 19 pounds. And I'll see what combination works for steel case ammo, and I'll try to post that down below. I think this should work. It doesn't look like it's going to be too light. If it starts giving me light strikes, of course, I will put that in the description. Like I said, any other information you want to know about it, I'll add it whatever I can in the description below. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. V8 Merc, signing out.